I got the pop-up box.
Yeah. Did you hear it also on your end?
Oh yeah.
Oh, recording and process. I do not pay that lady. She is not on my staff.
I thought she was your producer. You're a new producer.
Yeah, no, I fire him every time I'm on the show because of you. Welcome to the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. I am Billy,
Hey, I'm Joe.
and this is the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. Joe Carney, who is the host of Indy's Local Flavor. Type it into Google. It's going to come up. iTunes, all your platforms, probably even platforms you haven't authorized have Joe Carney's Indy's Local Flavor, and so does the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show too. It pops up. So, but if you want to go to the main page, it's Keeping the Nostalgia Alive. That's all one word. Keeping the Nostalgia Alive.podbean.com. And also, you're watching probably Joe and I on Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show on YouTube. Please subscribe to that also so you can get the annoying pop-ups that we have produced. Ooh, that's a word. I don't think produced is a word within our show, but it'll let you know when we add another video. So how we doing, Joe?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. He's got a podcast out. However, I went to go sign up for it, and it's $35 a year. So I was like, no. So
I'm Rick James.
Which?
so every week, Joe and I do it is expanded. It's really not the Billy and Joe Top 10 show anymore.
Right.
It's either the Billy and Joe Top 10 plus one or the Billy and Joe Top 20. I think it's all dependent upon the scope of the subject that we're talking about and the love that both Joe and I have for the topic that we're going to discuss. So,
right.
I know this is not planned, but how is Indy with getting ready for the race this upcoming Sunday? Everybody excited? What do you think about the Indianapolis 500 in general and your history with it?
I don't have a huge history with it. The way I understand it, the cities are ready to go. I guess they had a decent turnout at the time trials here recently. So I know everybody's excited, looking forward to it. The weather's supposed to be cooperate, which is a big deal. But the race is blacked out here in central Indiana. So
why?
The NASCAR race is not ever blacked out here, and the local race is blacked out, and I guess it's 40% capacity because of the virus. So I don't know.
If you can't have if you can't have people attending it, you should let it out so everybody can watch it.
Yeah, right. So,
but I'm in Houston, Texas, and I get to watch it. I like to watch all the pomp and circumstance, and back home again in Indiana, and I kind of enjoy the Indianapolis 500. So,
yeah.
Well, Joe, our top 20 today are famous duos.
I do have two pieces of news real quick. Is that okay?
Shoot.
Paul Mooney, the famous comedian, passed away this last week. Very funny guy. If you don't know who he is, please check him out on Google. Billy, by chance, did you see the Kenny Mayne interview with Aaron Rodgers on ESPN?
I did not.
Okay, I'll replay it for you. Kenny Mayne is talking to Aaron Rodgers, and he said, Aaron, the last time I talked to you, you said invest heavily in cryptocurrency, and it's down 40%. And I got fired from my job, and my wife wants a comforter. So forget you, Aaron Rodgers. And he walks off the stage, and he didn't say forget.
Oh, so we're not going to see Kenny Mayne anymore on ESPN SportsCenter?
They fired him. Yeah.
Oh, you fired.
27 years.
I enjoyed him.
I did too. Too.
He also had another guy. I know we kind of go back and forth a little bit, the Billy and Joe Top 10 show, but he also had another guy which really balanced him out, and they played off of each other and had some really good sports centers, which were entertaining and informative as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Sports Center is kind of they were talking about that a little bit online, that it's becoming a one-person show. It's not the old style of two people talking back and forth. It's just, one person now.
And Scott Van Pelt ain't cutting the cheese, man.
He's okay. I mean, yeah, he's okay. So
he always seems just a little bit nervous. Of course, we're nervous also when we do this. But also too, though, I never edit any of our stuff on our show either. So, and I know he doesn't do when they don't do that too on ESPN when he's live. But he always seems just a little bit nervous for someone who's been doing it for so many years. But I'm not putting it down. I just I'm just not a fan.
Right. I mean, the best guy I think that's left is Mike Greenberg.
You're probably right. It's actually both you and I.
Yeah, I'd like to get the mothership paycheck.
So speaking of that, I'm kind of excited for this because we're doing the top 20 duos of all time. And it was interesting bouncing this off of people. Some people most people wanted to come up with musicians.
Right.
And it was interesting to ask people who they thought, give me some famous duos just right off the top of your head. And it was interesting. So let's go ahead and roll it out with your number 21.
Well, I've got a gumbo of mine. I've got a little bit of everything. So my number 21, I'm sure a lot of people would overlook. Power Man and Iron Fist. So
Power Man and Iron Fist
for Marvel Comics, correct? That's my number 21.
All right. Did they have their own show, or did?
Well, they later ended up with their own shows on Netflix, but they were huge comic book and during my childhood. So yeah, that's my 21.
Okay, so I am going to slap my number 21 up here on the screen.
Okay.
And I want to see if you know who it is, Joe.
All right, sure. That would be Laurel and Hardy.
Very good, my friend. Very good. Oh, gee, Ollie. And a lot of people don't know that, you listen to that SpongeBob SquarePants theme at the very end when it goes do 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 do.
Yeah,
that was the end of Laurel and Hardy. And kids nowadays, but no one would know, and no one knows who's Laurel and Hardy is anymore.
Right. Yeah, I love those guys.
Great movie that they made with them too. Just Google Laurel and Hardy movie. The guy that was in Step Brothers. Played I can't remember. Just Google Laurel and Hardy. There's a good biographical movie about them and their career in comedy.
Yeah, very very funny duo. Good pick. And my number 20 is similar to that. They also made it into a cartoon, Abbott and Costello. Hey, Babbitt. Yeah.
Abbott and Costello are really higher on my list. Who's on first?
Yes.
All of the movies that they made, they were very successful for years, and that all their radio shows being out now and you being able to get them. I started listening to those old radio shows when Marsh Supermarkets had the audio cassettes. When you go by during that first main aisle at Marsh Supermarkets, and you get the first one for 99 cents, and I think each one after that was like $2.99, and you got a free cassette case, and I had I had the cassette recorder, and we'd sit out on the patio and we'd play it, and there were a lot of and so I fell in love with Abbott and Costello then, and kind of followed them and still follow them now. And you are correct with the cartoon, the Warner Brothers cartoon, where they mimic kind of like they do the Honeymooners also.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so my number 20 is for those older folks that are listening, and that is Fibber McGee and Molly. Fibber,
Oh wow, you're going back on that one.
Fibber, McGee, and Molly were in the golden age of radio, and
Yeah.
you had all those sound effects, and talking about Abbott and Costello, you'd use your imagination on who's at the
Yeah.
mic. Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Fibber would go to the closet to get something. Molly would always tell him not to. And when he opened that closet, everything fell out of the closet onto the
Of course.
floor, and the Fibber, McGee, and Molly show. Probably brought to you by Winston cigarettes. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Of
And
course.
on those Abbott and Costello shows, it used to be, this is brought to you by Camel, and it said 7 out of 10 doctors recommend Camel for
Yeah.
a smooth
Yeah.
taste. Smoke Camel cigarettes. Now back to Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
They smoke it out of the side of their neck. That's funny. My number 19. No, they didn't. They made a movie about one of these players, Mantle and Maris, Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris of the New York Yankees.
That is pretty cool. And the 61 asterisk 61 or 61 that was directed by Billy Crystal was a fantastic movie.
Yes,
about,
right.
Mantle and Maris, and Maris losing his hair chasing for that number 61, and Mantle and his drinking issues and womanizing. But a very interesting duo. I don't know how successful they were in winning World Series championships, though.
Right.
I want to look that up, but I still think till today the Yankees have 27 World Series championships, if I'm not mistaken, or 28.
Yes.
But that takes me to my 19, and you got the first one right, Joe. Let's see if you can get the second one right here.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Who is this duo?
I can't see it. Oh, I just see the hairlines. Don't know.
Lewis and Clark.
Oh, well, okay. Yes.
And not Matthew Perry and Chris Farley.
I wasn't going back enough.
But Lewis and Clark, and we went down and saw the George Rogers Clark thing in Vincennes, and Lewis and Clark stopped in Vincennes and rode, and their thing was to go and check out the Louisiana Purchase, and they made it to the Pacific Ocean, and came back, and it was funded through Thomas Jefferson's idea. But Lewis and Clark, I'm going to toss a little history in there.
Nice, very nice. My number 18. I don't know why they got rid of this one. Green Lantern and the Green Arrow comic book.
Oh, Green Arrow. I loved Green Arrow.
Yeah,
me
too.
Loved Green Arrow. And we talked about this in one of our previous shows, but the Green Lantern movies the Green Lantern movie was good, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the Green Arrow show is good too.
What's that?
The Green Arrow show is good too on CW.
And he's got 48 different arrows in his quiff.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if my number 18 can stand up to your Green Arrow and Green Lantern, but Tom and Jerry.
I have them on my list. Yes.
All right. Yay. And just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still with us, Joe and I don't get together. So this is a nice little surprise. When we do get together, we don't, like I said, we don't edit or anything like that. So, and you probably can tell. But
yeah.
But Tom and Jerry, what a great classic cartoon. And I don't know which one I enjoyed more, was when Tom was friends with Jerry, or Jerry and Tom were friends together.
Oh, that's easy. I love it when it was Tom and Jerry and you throw Spike in there and they were at each other's throats. Or if occasionally there would be a female cat and then Tom would lose his mind.
I'm in the mood for love. And he just loses mind. Yeah, and then all of a sudden be mean to Jerry.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I like the one where Tom's in the zoot suit trying to impress the girlfriend. I love that one. So
Plus, Jerry had a great dance scene in one of the epic movies of all time with Gene Kelly.
right.
I don't know the name of that movie,
I don't either.
but type in Gene and Jerry, and it may come up.
Yes, probably so. So my 17, this duo did very well for a very long time. Scorsese and De Niro, Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro.
And speaking of that, that is a great duo there. Speaking of that, we lost somebody else besides Mr. Mooney that you talked about, who was Richard Pryor's head writer for quite a long time. But we also lost Charles Grodin at age 86.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah, and Charles Grodin was in my favorite De Niro movie, and it was called Midnight Run.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
If you haven't seen it, it's pretty enjoyable, and De Niro does a great job, and Charles Grodin does a fabulous job. But rest in peace, Charles Grodin. But that's a great pick, Joe.
Thank you.
I'm still going to stay in the mature stages of my life and go with another cartoon duo coming in at number 17, Sylvester and Tweety.
Oh, you can't go wrong with this. Can't go wrong with Warner Brothers. So can't go wrong with those at all.
Oh, the shame of it all.
Despicable.
Fucker and fuckatash. Oh, that was pretty good, Joe. That was pretty good.
Despicable. Yes.
Despicable.
I don't think you could use those kind of quotes now. It would be offensive.
We're lucky that you can probably still watch it.
Yeah. Well, there's a warning on them on HBO Max. So
yep, there is.
PG. So my number 16, we've talked about, created by Tex Avery, Tom and Jerry. Baby. And I love the July 4th one where Tom accidentally blows up the house. So yes.
This next one, Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Oh, I didn't have that. That's a great pick. Great pick. And the movies are good too.
Yeah, predictable, action-filled, long. But I agree with that. You got to kind of be nowadays. You got to kind of be in the mood for something like that. But Sherlock Holmes and Watson is Billy's number 16.
I first discovered that when I had to read The Hound of Baskervilles. So good book.
It was a Disney cartoon where there was a Sherlock Holmes in it as a mouse too.
Yeah, right.
The pipe.
Yeah, not the same.
It's a pipe. I didn't say bong.
Well, we know what the real Sherlock Holmes was taking. So yeah, it wasn't tobacco. So yes. My number 15. We play both country and Western, Jake and Elwood Blues.
Oh, nice. I actually thought you were going to come out with Donnie and Marie there for a second.
No. No.
And what is it? We got a pack of cigarettes, a half a tank of gas.
Yeah. And an 8-hour drive. I don't know.
Jake and yes, the Blues Brothers. Oh man, that didn't even come across when asking people or even searching. So my number 15, and we're on track here, right?
Yes.
Okay. He would have his cigarette right there in between there, which is a weird place to have your cigarette. Right. He'd have a drink in his hand, and the other part of the DO would be Hyman, Dean Martin, and Jerry Lewis. Martin and Lewis.
Yeah, they were funny.
That's some old Ray.
Have you seen his roasts on television?
Oh my gosh, they're rated PG and or will come with a warning too.
Oh yeah, yeah, funny, very funny stuff.
I always heard that wasn't real alcohol. That was fake. He kind of pressed and pushed that alcohol on TV and at the roast and stuff like that. But I do know that I think he died of some kind of liver disease. So maybe that
Yeah,
wasn't true at all, or maybe that you get jacked up before and then you just act like you're drinking during.
right,
But there would be a lot of youngsters out there who don't know who Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis are. Look them
right,
up.
right.
Great combo.
Yes, exactly. Have you seen the comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Lewis?
Yes.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Classic stuff. And of course, Jerry's not with us and Dean's not with us anymore. May they
Right,
rest in peace. But
right.
what entertainment kings,
Oh yeah, without a
you
doubt.
know?
My number 14. The guys who wrote this are geniuses. You either love them or hate them. SpongeBob and Patrick. My favorite episode is when SpongeBob gets a splinter in his thumb while he's working, and he continues to work the Krabby Patty. And Patrick is playing a doctor, and he says, "Let's do this lovely trash compress," and he wraps trash around his thumb. Yeah, and it grows 10 sizes because of the infections.
Now, all the older people that we had just now, I'm talking about Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, have now left us, and we're now back with the immature younger crowd. I agree with that pick. My favorite episode is the one of the nematodes where they eat SpongeBob's house.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
And he's explaining to Patrick something, and Patrick is just
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Genius Patrick.
and a great, if you can see behind me, let me go the other way. No, you can't see it. If I pull something off, everything's going to fall off. Bill Fabereke
I think so.
played a great role in Coach as Dauber.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, what a great way to go with voiceovers,
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea, right?
SpongeBob SquarePants. So what's interesting, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do the music duo. I remember watching the show as a kid. That shows you how old I was. It wasn't anything on Me TV or anything like that. And that's
Right.
Sonny and Cher, man. I Got You, Babe.
Okay.
And while you're there, do you know that Sonny Bono died on a skiing accident?
Yes.
And you know what song that he was singing before the accident?
No, I do not.
If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher. Oh, that was real bad. You do know that tree is marked where he hit and died, right?
No.
It says it's the one that says "I got you, babe."
Yeah.
And that's the extent of my Sonny and Cher jokes. I'm going to put a little PG in the front. Probably going to be canceled, although we've never been approved.
Right.
But Sonny and Cher.
My number 13, I'm sure you'll have this on your list. I'm sure you'll have it, Billy, is the Shaq and Kobe.
You know what's very interesting there is after you said that, they were kind of like the sounds of silence, which takes me into Simon and Garfunkel, which is number 13.
Great pick. Great pick. And the Beastie Boys' greatest hits was called Sounds of Science, which was a kind of a tribute to Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah.
And that's what I was blinded by when I was in high school. Science!
She blinded me with science.
Quasimodo. That's probably cut out too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm
Uh,
sorry about that. You threw me off with that Shaq and Cook. I
I
respect
could.
it. I respect it, but I had to go in with my number 13, and Simon and Garfunkel. It was probably more Simon than Garfunkel, but
Yeah.
you know, just me and Julio down by the schoolyard. You know, you can call me Al.
Those guys lyrically were amazing. Amazing artists. So
I totally agree with that. I'm not into, I like the Boxer,
yeah.
Sounds of Silence. But they're kind of folksy to me in that Gordon Lightfoot type genre, but good musicians, good music.
Oh yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. My number 12, it's a shame how they ended, but when they were together, it was magical. Miles Davis and John Coltrane.
Oh man, great pick. If we could only have background music without being yanked off the air because we didn't get rights.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's oh man. So let's go back to such a mature pick, Penn and Teller.
Yeah, funny stuff. Funny stuff. Great magicians.
Uh, and entertainers, and I really didn't get into them till probably it was too late. But I enjoy their material. So
Mm-hmm.
there, I said it.
Now, I'm a comic book guy, and I'd rather go with the comic book version with Wonder Woman, but I'm sticking with the standard version, Superman and Lois Lane.
Oh, a duo,
Mm-hmm.
Superman and Lois Lane.
Yep.
What was Jimmy's last name in the television series? Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
He never got no credit on any of the movies, did he?
A little bit, not much.
Yeah. Superman and Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to go out dancing just a little bit. And my number 11 is Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Yes, they were they in the Depression?
I think they started out maybe at the tail end of that, but yes,
Yeah.
but just great dancers, great storytellers within their feet, and it's something that we'll never see again.
Right.
Fred
Yeah,
Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Yeah. My number 10, you probably have this higher. I hope they tour this summer. It's a Hall and Oates.
Oh man, speaking of that, I do have Daryl Hall and John Oates, and I have them at number 7. And I got this because I hired a private eye.
No, well, of course, and they're
And
watching you.
yes, and a little bit of adult education.
That's another show for another time.
That shit's a little out of touch.
Out of time.
Yes, and I think it's Joe's smile, not Sarah's smile.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, and you just don't know how many hits they had until you have it on your music streaming service, or you
Right.
look it up, or I've got a book. It's the Billboard Top 40, and it's about that thick, by Joel Washburn, I think it is. And
I have
then
got it.
I go through that, and we'll look at artists and what. And do you know that Daryl Hall was asked to replace David Lee Roth in Van Halen?
No, I did not know that.
Yep, and so was Patty Smythe from.
I knew that. I knew that one. Knew that one.
Yeah. So very, very, very interesting. So my number 10. I'm still on track here, right?
Yes.
No, Batman and Robin.
I have that pick a little higher.
A little higher.
Mhm.
Well, I knew your pick's going to be a little different with your love of superheroes and comics.
Mhm.
But when I hear Batman and Robin too, it's just because of me being 54 years old and having an old soul and being nostalgic. I always think of the Batman and Robin, the Adam West, Burt Ward, TV series that, a lot of people think, oh, that was on for years. But, it was only on for 3 years, just long enough
Right.
to be able to get
Right.
syndication.
Exactly.
But that's the Batman and Robin that I think about.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. And then Super Friends came on right after that. So yeah, that's what I grew up with as well. My number 9, I had to think about this one for a while. As a true duo, the classic hip hop duo Outkast from Atlanta, Georgia.
See, I knew there was going to be some different twists with your choices and your picks. A very cool pick. Are they still doing stuff now?
Yeah, I know Big Boy's still doing things, doing collaborations, and Andre 3000 still doing collaborations, but they haven't. And they just put out a greatest hits. So
Was there
kind of, sort of,
was there a Lever 2000 that was a soap?
3000.
Oh, okay. Well, that takes us from one end of the music spectrum to the other, and that's the Everly Brothers.
Sure.
Bye bye love, doo 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 doo. Bye
Yep.
bye loneliness. Wake up, little Susie.
Yep.
One of those grandfathers of rock and roll, or that grasped it, quickly once rock and roll started with back in the 50s. But
Yeah.
and I think it's Phil and Don Everly, but the Everly
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, the Everly Brothers come in at my number 9.
Okay, good choice. My number 8, I did a twist on it. You said Batman and Robin. I said Batman and the Joker.
In most cases, you don't have one without the other.
Right. Right.
And then when they act like he's not around, that's just not a true Batman show.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Batman and the Joker. So I've got a little twist on my number 8.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have a twist on my number 8. I was going to have Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, wow.
At number 8. But I decided to go with the cartoon you probably can't find anymore. And that's Heckle and Jekyll.
Yeah, that wouldn't cut the mustard anymore. Still a great cartoon.
No, yeah, and part of history. But Jekyll and Hyde, or Heckle and Jekyll, number Ocho, ESPN, the Ocho.
That was by Harvey Tunes, if I remember correctly.
Same ones I think that did Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yes.
And Baby Huey.
Yep. And Lil Lulu.
Ghost.
Right. Right. My number 7. And I think the best matchup in this arena, Ali and Frasier.
Oh, and man, I can just hear Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
I can just hear him in my head calling a fight of Ali and Frasier. Smoking Joe Frazier.
This is how it goes out today. Yes.
Number 7 is my Hall and Oates. So they came in at number 7. You had them a little bit lower, but I had them a little bit higher. And once again, musical geniuses in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. My number 6, when you watch this now, it's pure writing genius. Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And here he is, Mr. Know-It-All. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of the hat.
again. Right.
And then the little fairy tale stories,
Fractured fairy tales.
fractured fairy tales. And
Yeah.
then for some reason was Mr. Peabody within that cartoon range.
And his pet boy Sherman.
Gee, Mr. Peabody,
Right.
that's like Tennessee tuxedo will not fail.
Gee, Tennessee.
I was going to do that, but
Wait,
I
is
chose
it
not
Tennessee? Tennessee and what was Chumley?
Chumley, right? Yeah. And
Oh.
then Professor McBragg.
Yes. They were same people's underdog, right? I think.
Yeah. Oh, that was the underdog hour, right? Yes.
Yeah. Now, my next one, my number 6, is the Warner Brothers version, but my number 6 is going to be Chip and Dale.
Huh?
Chip and Dale is Disney, and I can never remember the 2 squirrels' names or 2 gophers' names on the Warner Brother cartoons.
The Topher Gophers.
Yes. Right? So yeah. And, everybody has a knockoff of something, I guess. That's been going on through the history of time. Coke, Pepsi, Chip and Dale, whatever the really name of the Gophers is,
right.
No wonder lawyers make so much money. And,
because that's where I get the saying, people will say something and I go, quite. It's from right. It's from the Topher Gophers on Warner Brothers. So.
And they have music that is just, it's still embedded in my mind, and it's that do 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 as the lumber goes through, and they almost get their tail sawn off 15 different times, and
right.
Classic stuff that classic stuff.
Yeah, very funny. Good choice. I didn't even think about that. My number 5 could be my number 1, but the other ones in front of it have to be where they are. Han and Chewie on Solo and Chewbacca of Star Wars.
Dude, I thought you were going, I'm Hans and I'm Franz, and we're here to
pump
you up.
Right. No, that's not my pick.
But that is a good pick. Yours. Yeah.
So.
Number 5, Officer Frank Poncherello and John, Ponch and John from Chips.
I thought about that, but that didn't make my list.
I've got to tell you a real quick story.
Sure.
My dad had some good one-liners, and my dad was a quiet guy and kept to himself a lot. But he had this friend named Dick Moffat who lived in Lebanon or Thorntown, somewhere in between, and he hadn't talked to Dick Moffat in quite a while. And there were some terrible storms that went through one day in a summer about 16, 17 years ago. And I just remember my dad going, "Did you see all those storms and those tornadoes that ripped through Thorntown and Lebanon?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I thought of Dick Moffat." And I'm sitting there on the other end waiting. And then my dad goes, "But that's all I did." Did you call him? Did you find out if he's okay? No, I just thought of him. That's all I did. But you had to know my dad to get really good out of
that. My number 4, I'm the king of the microphone, and so is Dr. J and Moses Malone.
Oh, man. That right there, it takes your Shaq and Kobe off of the shelf, man. That is okay. That erases that like a dry erase marker, bro.
Okay.
Shaq and Kobe, man. You still get me with Sounds of Silence from Simon and Garfunkel with that one, man. No, man, a great choice. Great choice. Curtis Blow.
Yep, basketball.
Well, you just haven't you're not our age, and you'll never go through what we got to go through in watching Cheech and Chong.
Oh, Chong just turned 83. I follow him on Instagram.
Tommy Chong and Cheech Marine.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Funny guy.
Hey man, you didn't stop at that light. Oh, don't worry, man. I'll stop twice at the next one.
Very funny. Very underrated comedians. Very funny.
Class.
Yeah.
Class.
Right.
Open the door, man. It's Dave. Who? It's Dave, man. I got the stuff. Dave's not here. Oh man, Cheech and Chong, number 4.
Love those guys. They're very funny. Number 3, no surprise, Kenny Stabler and Freddie Blitnikoff.
Wow. And you know, it's interesting when people say things and what first comes to your mind. And when you roll those two names out, I think of Cliff Branch, Dave Casper,
sure.
Dave Casper, Ray Guy.
Yeah.
But the Snake and what a kind of when football was football, man. I'm not saying anything about today's game, but
I will.
Yeah. Once again, everybody knows that Joe knows football. I know basketball, and in between, we know everything else. That's like someone saying, "Well, he's a jack of all trades and a master of none."
Correct.
Oh, so no, that's good, man. So my number 3 is, hey, Bert.
Ernie.
Bert and Ernie, man.
I forgot those guys. I love them.
Oh, man. Hey, Bert, that hurt.
Oh, gee, Ernie.
I used to sing when many moons ago when the kids were little, when I was doing basketball, I used to sing Rubber Ducky.
Rubber Ducky. Yes, you're the one. You know, and we all, as parents, had those cassettes. And Google that, youngsters, cassettes. And also, when you put the pencil into the cassette, Google that. Google pencil and cassette.
Right.
But Bert and Ernie, and what Jim Henson. Thank you, Jim Henson.
Oh, yeah.
And that's from me, from being a kid and growing up with it, and letting me share what I enjoyed as a kid with Henson Productions, or whatever it was called. Was just awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, he was a
Gone
genius.
too long. Gone too soon too.
So, yeah. I can sing this whole theme song, but I shall not. Bugs and Daffy.
From
Overture, curtain lights. Lights. This is it. Let's hit the heights. Oh, what heights will hit? On with the show. This is it. Yep.
You know what? What was your least favorite of that show, though? When they would slap on this cartoon, you'd be like, not really interested, but I'm going to watch it because it's Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, that's easy. Pepe Le Pew.
He's been erased from the internet. So if you want to know what Pepe Le Pew is, inbox us at the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on our Facebook page, and we'll let you know what Pepe Le Pew is.
No, I didn't like him, but I don't think it should have been censored.
I didn't. Mine was. I know. I'm sorry. There's a Roadrunner and Coyote.
I liked Wile E. Coyote because I wanted to see how many times he'd get injured. So,
and his looks, and
brought to you by brought to you by Acme Industries.
Acme Industries.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you stole a little bit of my thunder earlier in the show, and my favorite number 2 is Hey Abbott, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. I can still talk on Bud Abbott and Lou Costello for another 5 minutes if I wanted to, just because of what it introduced me to and what path I led down in my choices and wants of entertainment.
Right. Yes. And they're in the Baseball Hall of Fame for who's on first.
You have a pitcher's name? That's today. You have a catcher?
Okay.
You have a catcher? That's
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Oh, so we got a couple dates on our hands.
Right.
And then, then there's Dizzy. And then his brother, Daffy. And then his French brother, Daffy. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. I'm sorry, I got a little excited there with
yeah.
being able to
They're
say their names so many
fantastic.
times.
Fantastic. Great pick.
How many times do you think Bud Abbott and Lou Costello were mentioned today orally, audibly? That's why we do what we do, just because, some of these people would be forgotten, but I guess that's just the way it is. But yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring
Yep. No, that's true. I mean, I unfortunately I think they kind of are forgotten. If it weren't for us, so
correct. Oops.
So that's all right.
Okay, I'm back. Technical difficulties.
My numero uno. They changed the game. Lennon and McCartney.
Man, that didn't even come to my mind. And that's
Okay.
why we do this show, the Billy and Joe Top 10 show, because man, and you're correct. What a yesterday.
Yeah, which was Lennon's song.
Right. just one choice.
Right.
So very good, man.
My favorite is a downer, but it's Eleanor Rigby. So
do 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 do
do do do do.
All the lonely people.
Where do they all come from?
There you go, bro. Now all the youngsters are going McCartney and Lennon. Who
Right.
the hell is that? And Pepe Le Pew and McCartney and Lennon.
I was thinking about Bo and Luke Duke, but I changed my pick later. I mean, they were on my list, but I took them off. So
they don't have, well, their car got canceled, so they didn't have any transportation to the side of the show.
yeah, they got their car recalled, right?
Well, did you have a clue, or do you have an inkling of my number one?
I need a hint, please.
Now, is inkling a word?
Yes, sure it is.
And is that like a choice or an idea or an answer?
Yes.
It's not like a duckling, it's an inkling.
Right. I need a hint.
Okay. Silver.
Oh, Lone Ranger and Tonto?
Yeah, the Lone Ranger and Tonto, my friends, is my number one duo of all time. Can't you see them smoking the big peace pipe with McCartney and Lennon writing songs?
Oh, of course. I call my car Hi-O Silver.
Yesterday.
So, yeah.
When my troubles seem so far away. I'd watch Lone Ranger and Tonto every day.
They were on WHMB Channel 40 every day after school.
You know, Joe, Lester Summerall.
I can't even comment on that guy.
WHMB Channel 40, right? Isn't that weird that things that we remember, I mean, once things that are said, it's just that is awesome.
I can't comment on that guy. I would get in so much trouble.
Yeah, and Dennis the Menace, I think, was on WHMB, and
Leave it to Beaver. Leave it to
Beaver.
My mom's always talking about, we need to go back and people need to watch more Leave It to Beaver. They get their lives in order, and I'm like, okay.
Gee, Ward, you were kind of hard on the beaver last night, weren't you?
Yes.
Oh man, I think this was one of our funner shows. Hopefully that's will kind of rekindle some memories and people can Google and look up and kind of take our style of show viral, please.
Maybe even the funnest.
Yes. This may be number 20 of the. What number show are we on, by the way? We should have done that a long time ago. Season 1,
Yeah.
episode 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the Billy and Joe Top 10 show finale.
No.
Q95. This is the Q95. Who's this? Oh, this is Billy. Oh, this is a cash song. Yay! Yay! All right, Billy, you won $95. Now here's your chance to win another 100.
Right.
All right. Who invented the Zamboni machine?
That'd be Zamboni.
Mr. Zamboni.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking for his first name. I said, you asked me who invented the Zamboni machine, and it's Mr. Zamboni.
Right.
Joe Carney, host of Indies Local Flavor. Tell everybody a little bit about your podcast. Why did you kind of decide to get into it, and what are some of your favorite topics on your show? And tell them once again where they can find it.
I decided to get into the podcast. I tried to do a DJ thing for a year, and that didn't work. So then I decided to do talk radio. So I decided, and it was just me, February of 2020. And I did, so I started doing sports, music, and mental health topics. And you can find me on and it's been going pretty well so far. You can find me on the big three mostly, which is, I started out on Anchor FM. You can find me there, of course, but I'm also on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. So it's pretty fun.
Joe, as always, this is fantastic. Guys, please go to the Billy and Joe Top 10 show on Facebook, subscribe to our page. Go to Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let everybody know what we're doing. If you have any comments, you have a list that you would like to talk about, or if you really hate our lists or think that we're idiots, put it in the comment section down below, because we would like to know what you think. And we'll do this again next week. Joe Carney, thank you so much.
That sounds good. I had a fun time.
We'll leave it at Shaq and Kobe.
Okay.